Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Between Two Brokers. Today, we have two very, very special guests, Scott Kafka and Jeremy Feldman from lively Charleston. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
We are really excited to be here.
I love your energy, Scott.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can hang out anytime.
I love it.
Like
Let's do it.
Great smile and positive attitude. So,
okay, 30 seconds in, Stacy's flirting.
So anyway, you guys are real estate brokers or real estate agents here in Charleston with your own company. And we do some things similarly because you guys have your own podcast. So I want you guys to talk about that and what you talk about on your podcast. And I also want us to talk about how we structure our businesses differently. So some of the things that we do similarly and differently. So first of all, why don't you just kind of introduce yourselves and talk about your real estate company and maybe a little bit about the podcast.
And also, I'm always interested to hear how people ended up in Charleston, you know, because it's...
Yeah.
How do you know they're not from here?
Yeah, how do you know we're not born and raised?
If you were born here, then that's your story. You can say that, but...
Because that's like 2% of people
Yeah, it's
that
like
currently
nobody.
live here, right? So
So,
chances are.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, you want me to start?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so how I got here, it was not with the intention of doing real estate. In fact, I'm from Denver, so I almost got my real estate license in Denver. Wrote the check for $800. I was going to join my buddy's company, and then kind of on a whim, just sold all my stuff to move out here to Charleston with my best friend, and because he said it was great. He lives on the beach, and that just sounded good. That was pretty much all I needed. So moved here, opened a gym, did not go into the real estate route, and then that was pretty all-encompassing and took a lot of time, but it was still kind of an itch I needed to scratch at some point. I knew I had an interest in real estate, and I had a lot of friends in it. So as soon as I got the opportunity, I kind of made the transition over into real estate as a career field. That was about 10 years ago. I moved to Charleston. So I'm a Midwest boy, but not from Ohio. So a little further out.
Make sure you get that.
So
out.
don't put that on me. Yeah.
So for anyone who doesn't know, there used to be a big campaign, like bumper stickers, website, everything that was big in Charleston called gobacktoohio.com because there's like just a straight highway from Ohio to Charleston. I actually think Myrtle Beach, and people felt abused by it.
It feels that way, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of an inside joke here,
So
I guess.
yeah, everyone's clear to say I'm not from Ohio.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So that's how I wound up in Charleston. And then I forget part B of the question.
Well, I mean, how did you guys get connected? How did you get here? All that kind of stuff.
Okay, I'll kind of tell you how I ended up here. I moved here May of '99, 2 weeks after my honeymoon. We lived in Little Rock, Arkansas at the time, and we moved here. And sight unseen, didn't know a soul, didn't have a job, just knew he wanted to live in this great city, southern city on the beach. Is what we looked at it as. So did a myriad of things, sold building supplies, worked for an internet telecom company. And then while I was doing that, I was doing like a Superman routine. I would do telecom sales a part of the day, and then I started the very first mosquito control company here in the area called Buzz Off Mosquito Control. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I did that for 14 years. Doing that, working all throughout the Low Country, Kiowa, all around, even down into Hilton Head as well. And when I met Jeremy, I would run my team meetings every day at the Charleston Bagel Shop over off of Long Point Road across from his CrossFit gym. Mm-hmm. And he and I met kind of just in passing, like, hey, I CrossFit, you own a CrossFit gym, cool. And we just kind of just started just having just conversations randomly about business and life and things like that. And then I ended up selling the company and was looking for something to do. And he and I kind of just kept talking about different things. And he said, hey, I own this marketing company, and I've been marketing for these successful real estate teams here in the area. And he's like, we can do that. Like, why don't we just get our real estate license and do the same thing? I got all their marketing down. Mm-hmm. So we're like, let's do it. That's kind of just how it ended up, really.
Pretty much.
And how many years ago was that?
Oh, gosh. What was it, 5?
5
years now?
About 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And talk about your team. Is it just the two of you? Do you have a squad?
Yeah, so we are currently 14 deep, including myself and Scott. We have a full-time marketing person and an admin, and then a transaction coordinator, and then the rest are licensed agents, and an ISA. So
what's an ISA?
ISA, inside sales agent. So she's kind of our front line for all the folks that find us that don't already live here, that we don't already have a relationship with. So, someone who inquires through our website or any sort of marketing, she's the first one to kind of start having a conversation with them, find out what it is they're looking to do, and then kind of set them up with an agent that'll be the best fit for them.
And how did you guys decide how to build and structure your team?
That's a great question.
Trial and error.
Yeah, that's been a process. We had multiple structures, over the years. And it's been we're now kind of moving into something that I think is I don't know if we're necessarily modeling any teams that are out there. It's kind of a combination of several things that we've been inspired by or that seem to work well for other people. So
another thing we have in common.
Yeah.
Kind of feel like you're charting your own
thing.
path.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Blazing trails over here.
Yeah.
It's wild, isn't it?
You could call it that.
Look at us. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I think it has to kind of fit your personality and your leadership style, and then also the type of people you're working with. But also, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We can take models that are working and just implement components of that into the way that you run your business and the way that we run ours.
Sure.
Do y'all focus on a certain area of Charleston, or does it just happen to be that y'all sell more in one spot or the other?
Yeah, we sell more in Mount Pleasant than anywhere else, but we don't necessarily specialize in Mount Pleasant or any particular area. We have enough people on the team where we can kind of cover pretty much everything.
And how do your agents, did you find them? Did they find you? And how do you figure out who's going to be a member of your team?
Yeah, great question. So we don't actively recruit. The old, hey, are you happy with your broker? Are you thinking about making a change? We don't make those calls. We don't really do any of that. So it's just attraction based, so people that we interact with either through doing business with them or maybe they're thinking of making a career change or whatever the case may be. Somehow, they found us and they're attracted to our brand. We get into a conversation.
It's the media storm. A lot of it. A lot of people see our Jeeps driving around. We have the two twin Jeeps driving around, Lively Charleston plastered all over it. We have the two Instagram, Lively Charleston properties and Lively Charleston. So people who are interested in real estate, they see what we're doing. They're highly attracted to it. Then we have the podcast as well. So it's this whole storm of media that's created as well. And, and we have like a, in-house media team as well. So, and just a lot of things available that agents alone don't have. So, we have agents who are they tried doing it by themselves for a while and they realize, you know what, I definitely need some guidance. I need some coaching, need some training, things like that. And that's what you'll see a lot of the time on our social media. We'll have our team meetings. Anybody's allowed to come to our team meetings. We have them every Thursday, starting at whatever, like 10:30, 11 o'clock. We have training at 9:15. If you want to come learn, pop on in. Just give us a heads up.
So whose idea was it to start the podcast?
Was it?
You.
Was it?
Yeah.
Maybe it's somebody. I feel like it was a joint idea, but
yeah.
It's a so kind of a funny story. Does the name Ben Keeney ring a bell?
Yeah.
He was a big shot with Keller Williams.
Yeah.
He indirectly is responsible for the name of our team because when I first got into real estate and I was trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing and how we're going to go about this, I was watching some of his stuff and he had this website called Live Bellingham, which is the city where he lived. And it was basically just a directory of businesses and cool things to do around town. So I was like, well, we need one of those here in Charleston and I'm going to make it. So I went to get the domain and it wasn't available, which I didn't know at the time because he already owned it. And so we did Lively Charleston instead of Live Charleston. And it was just going to be a domain. And then we turned it into it was going to be a video kind of doing content, interacting with local business owners, and that was going to be what it was, not necessarily the name of the team. And then it kind of transitioned into that. But the podcast, it's just an extension of that. Probably, you know, very similar to you guys. It's a great platform to have conversations with people, to, you know, give them some additional exposure that maybe they don't have through some different channels. You know, if we, as realtors, a lot of the value we bring to people, in addition to just buying and selling homes, which, what are the latest numbers? How many are there? 8,000, 100,000 agents? I don't even know what the numbers are.
Feels like 100.
Feels like 100.
Feels like it.
So, you know, let's say in a neutral market, not the crazy market where like your skills really do come into play. Let's say in a neutral market, if somebody wants to go buy a home, you probably have a dozen choices on who you could choose, and they could probably all get you the home, right? So then how do we engage with the community? How do we bring value to the people we work with, the people we surround ourselves with in a different way? And for local business owners, and basically just our motto is cool people doing cool things, right? Or one or the other, right? If you're in Charleston and you have a cool story to tell, then, you know, we'd love to help you tell it. And so that's kind of where it came from.
That's cool. So you're connecting people too.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. So your podcast is a lot about not just real estate focused. It's a lot about your love of Charleston.
It's more that.
Okay,
It's more
okay.
that. Yep.
More love of Charleston and the people who are building it, helping create it, creating businesses, bringing in different ideas, things like that.
Okay. Let's do a pop quiz.
Let's do it.
Fire away. Let's go.
All right.
Oh boy.
This is a surprise to me and Stacy too.
Okay.
It just came to me. Okay. All right. And you feel free to chime in at any time.
Okay.
Okay. Since you mostly sell in Mount Pleasant, what superlative would you give to Mount Pleasant? If this was a high school yearbook.
You mean like the best?
Superlative?
Yeah.
Oh, superlative.
Most likely to, or, you know.
Pleasant. Oh, that's a.
Succeed our homecoming.
What's this podcast
king.
rated? I'm just kidding.
Oh, explicit, actually.
Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Mount Pleasant. Ooh.
Gotta be careful.
No, don't. No, you do not have to,
We
be,
do not
careful.
have to be careful.
You need to let go of all
Okay.
those filters here.
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Fuck is a welcomed word here.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Fucking A. Thanks for putting that out there. All right. Now what's superlative? Help me out. Mount Pleasant, most likely to.
Okay, what about most popular?
Most popular. What would Mount Pleasant be most popular for?
No. She's just saying like most popular in
Yeah.
school, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Most popular area.
Okay, because those are the standard superlatives
Right.
in high school,
Right.
right? Like funniest,
Okay.
most likely to succeed,
Yes.
most athletic, stuff like
Yes.
that.
Most
right?
likely to
Okay.
skip school.
Y'all.
Yeah.
That's West Ashley. Y'all are.
James Island.
Okay, all right, I get it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, but y'all, correct me if I'm wrong, probably the majority of your clients or people that come in through all of your marketing efforts are people that are relocating to Charleston. True, false?
We're about 2/3 sphere of influence.
Okay,
And about
okay.
1/3 relocation.
Okay, all right. So the people that you're helping relocate, what do you say about Mount Pleasant? I mean,
Yeah. How do you sell it to them?
yeah,
It's funny. So a lot of times they come in with a preconceived notion because
of course.
we get used to it, but just the name Mount Pleasant sounds like something that would be in a movie or like have a Netflix show about it, right? Where, you know, there's this underground society of who the hell knows what's going on. But Mount,
Stepford Wives.
yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
That sort of thing,
Stepfordville,
right? Or like
Pleasantville.
Yeah.
a
You
Truman
know,
Show sort of thing.
Pleasantville,
Yeah.
or what was that? The Truman Show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
But I love Mount. This is where I live. I mean, it's not a hard sell, but you have, I mean, everything's here. You have Shem Creek. You have, I mean, a lot of great
Do
people.
you go to Shem
close to
Creek?
the water. Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
yeah.
I don't.
You don't go to Shem Creek?
I
Really?
don't do anything fun. I mean, I hang out at my house. It's fun.
You need to get out. After the
Fair
podcast,
enough.
we're going to Shem.
We're going to your house next.
Like
We're
4
crashing your house.
episodes ago, she was giving me a hard time for being an old lady. Now look at her.
Anyway. Yeah. Okay. So Shem Creek, everything is here.
Yeah, I mean,
Convenience.
but here's the thing, it's not for everybody. You know,
Right.
it's there's some people that love James Island, they'll never leave James Island. It's not for me. But they love that lifestyle. They love Folly Beach is their beach. You know what I mean? That has
Yeah.
more of the
Most likely to skip school.
yeah. Fair enough. Yep. Exactly.
Right?
Now, yes,
Yes.
that makes sense.
Yes.
But yeah, that's kind of more of the the surfer beach. That's like our real
Bohemian.
beach,
I call it
if you will.
bohemian crunchy granola.
Yeah,
Totally.
That's what I call it.
Yeah.
Barefoot.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nobody wears shoes out there.
What about you guys?
I love it.
What superlative would you give Mount Pleasant? How do you sell it?
Probably most popular.
That, I mean, and I just tell people, I say, look, it's the most upscale suburb of Charleston. So I see how they respond to that, but they're giving me cues before I even say that.
Sure.
So I'm trying to pick up on what is important to them. Are they Folly Beach or Sullivan's Island? That's apparent to me instantly because I've just been doing it for so long.
Right.
So, I'm not going to go there and I'm not going to promote Mount Pleasant to somebody that I feel like is going to be, and when I talk about West Ashley, the polite way that I do it is that I say that it presents the best value. And so I see if they pick up on that, because I have a lot of people that tell me they want Mount Pleasant, but when they tell me their price point, I realize that it's not going to work. And so I'll mention there are other places that have more value. And if that's what they want, they should not come to Mount Pleasant because we do not get value here.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And I explained to them that the reason is because of the school districts and the proximity to beaches in downtown and convenience. So Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Target, if those are the things that are important to them in their everyday life, then fine.
West Ashley, best sportsmanship.
Best sportsmanship?
Yeah.
I'm
For
feeling
hanging
like
in
They're
there.
always getting ragged on. Yeah.
I feel like Mount Pleasant could be like captain of the cheerleading team,
Yeah,
like that
could be.
sort of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
sort of vibe.
most popular.
Prom king.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay.
Blonde, big boobs.
Right. Yeah.
16 years
Mount
old.
Plastic.
Drives
Yeah.
you
That's what we
Yes.
get.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you live in Mount Pleasant too?
I do.
So all four of us do. So we can get
Yeah.
away with talking all the shit about it, But I find I live in Heron Point. I don't know if you guys know the neighborhood. It's like super low key neighborhood. So it goes Ion, upscale, Old Park, very upscale, and then my neighborhood, which is just OG,
Yeah.
like 80s and 90s houses. People have been there forever, and
Those are the best neighborhoods.
and we don't have snobs. If we do, I don't know them.
Yeah.
But everybody in my neighborhood is just so laid back and chill and has been there forever and isn't really into change. And I had my house for sale and they were interviewing me about who was coming.
They had to approve.
They don't want the Yankees coming.
Yeah.
It's so true.
It is. So anyway,
I hear that I think it's you, is like a Tony Robbins, maybe not a fan, but aspire to be.
Super fan.
Yeah, okay, you
Love
are.
Tony.
Okay, I
In
didn't
fact,
want to
we went together.
Yeah, we
Okay,
went both.
Stacy was there.
when did you go?
Which one? We went to UPW in
Dallas.
Was it Dallas?
Okay, I went
3 years
in
ago?
Florida in November of last year with two of my girls.
I said there like it was one event ever in the whole history of Tony
Love
Robbins.
it. Yeah. Did you
now
go?
you know what I'm
So you
dealing
got
with.
to go to
No.
before
She is not into
pre-COVID,
motivation
right?
or
You got
inspiration.
pre-COVID, so
No. Last November.
Oh, okay.
So we were the first event
Oh, the
after.
first live one.
First live event
I
after.
love it. You went to UPW?
Yes, and okay, UPW
I'm
stands for Unleash the Power Within Everybody.
I was gonna say, what is
Unleash
this?
the
we were
power.
firewalkers.
Yes,
baby.
we all walked on fire. We all did the things. We stayed up and ate shitty food. That was that was the thing that surprised me the most. I was like, "Come on, Tony, where's
I
the
know.
where's the edamame
We could do
or
better,
something?"
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So tell us about that kind of stuff.
How do you motivate your team?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
and part of this is we've seen a big shift in the market lately, especially in higher price points.
Yep.
In my opinion, how are you coaching them? And did you take on a lot of new agents during COVID, where it was easy to sell real estate if you were on the listing side? Buyers really had to fight hard, but coaching them through this transition into maybe a market that they haven't experienced before, which is, it's not a recession, it's a normalizing.
Correct.
It's a normal market now.
That's the term I use. Everybody is asking me, how's the market doing? Is it, are you seeing prices drop? What is it? And I'm like, it's normalized.
It's normal. What's not normal
Yeah.
is getting 15 offers on the same house and 3% interest rates. This is normal. 6%, a house
Exactly.
might sit on the market for a month. This is normal.
But
So
if you've been in real estate for 18 months
you
or
don't know
less,
the difference. Yeah, you don't know.
That's all they know, right?
Right. And they were like, oh, henny penny,
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'm not going to name names, but I had to teach a couple of our agents where to ask for closing costs on the contract.
That wasn't even,
I swear to God.
They know how to do an escalation clause, but this whole
Yeah,
seller paid
right.
closing costs, those are a completely new thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So great question. So we have a bit of a dichotomy right now because it's, as I'm sure as you guys know, as leaders, we need to explain the vision and show, the bright future ahead and where we're heading and all the great things. And so, but we also, owe our people the reality and the honesty of what's happening right now, which is that, being in the real estate business, the next 12 months is going to be significantly harder than the last 12 months was. There's going to be 30% less transactions estimated, give or take. So if you sold 20 homes in the same amount of effort, you'll sell probably 14, right, give or take. So we have to work a lot harder to hit the same targets, or we need to readjust what our goals are, what our lifestyle is, and how we're going to and plan accordingly. So, motivating, it's a lot of just, being honest with them, be fully transparent that it's going to be tough. We're going to have to work hard. If you normally come in at 9, come in at 8. And if you normally go home at 5, you might have to stay till 6.
I could not work for you.
Well, here's the thing, though.
Holy shit.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Everyone on our team, this is just how we operate. Your goals are yours to set, right?
Right.
And so as long as we do have minimums, right? So there has to, to run a profitable company, we have to have minimum expectations. But
What minimum sales for each agent
Volume?
per year?
Yep.
Correct.
Which is what?
Yep. Everyone has to sell at least a deal a month
Okay.
Ooh,
Right,
I
on-
love that.
on average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So if you get
miss
2 in
one-
1 month, but you miss a month,
Yeah.
you're good.
I like
Right,
that.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
one of the reasons why, and we did not do this, but going forward, we're kind of changing our tune. It's because I need to make sure that my agents are in tune with what's happening in the market.
Yep.
If you didn't sell something since January, you have no clue what the fuck is happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, and I want us to be known as having agents that sell because, all of our top agents do a lot more than that.
for sure.
Wait, I have a question just to interrupt you real quick. Okay, so I know that they're forecasting that we're going to have sales down by 30% or something like that. Don't you think, though, that what's happening in the market is going to take out a couple thousand and
Yes.
then, I have found that because I actually started in 2005. So I went through the last shit show. And that was one of the things that I gained was that I was showing up and I was working hard and I was staying in front of everybody. And then, the problem is that this whole negative headlines and negative news, people go into a hole unnecessarily, and they're just like, oh, now it's going to be hard. And then they quit. And I'm like, great, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
You don't belong here. And I just feel like people that are your agents, if they're following you and your lead, are going to be fine. And they're probably going to make up for deals where we were actually losing a bunch of business to people who were selling 2 or 3 or 4 homes a year, where we would.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So anyway.
No, you're exactly right. There's the number of transactions will go down. That's definitely going to happen. But that's also going to flush out. Like you said, a lot of the people that were doing 1 or 2, it's tough to keep paying your broker dues and your MLS fees and all these things. And, plus it depends on those 1 or 2. Are they fun deals with people that you enjoy working with?
Yeah.
Or are they really pain in the ass clients that are driving you crazy and you're just like, forget it. I'm going to go do something different. Right. So all those, like you said, all those opportunities go to the people that stay put, that continue to be consistent, continue to be here, stay present. And then I think the opportunity is when you come out of the other side, like you said, you've been here, you're consistent, you're still here, right? Even when things, start to ride back up, and then we can enjoy that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you guys see the future of Charleston? Do you think that we are going to continue to grow at this rapid rate that we have been, specifically thanks to Travel and Leisure magazine, who keeps giving us award,
Yeah.
and Condé Nast? Or do you think it's going to be like, okay, we peaked and now we're going to stop, getting this influx at such a high daily rate? I don't even know how many people we're welcoming every single day. It used to be between 35 and 40.
now.
Right. It was at
Yeah.
37 at
Yeah.
one point or something like
Yeah.
that.
It's gone down actually.
Yeah.
What are your
Probably
thoughts?
because we're filling up. It's like we don't have the option to expand every way because we're geographically limited by water.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, obviously Mount Pleasant keeps moving north and Somerville Corner, which I don't sell up there because I don't know it. But, Yeah. What do you think is going to happen?
I mean, I think it's going to slow down a little bit. Not much. I mean, we're still a destination place. There's still a lot of baby boomers who are going to be retiring or have already retired, but want to get out of the big cities and find some place to go, like Charleston. Because we have so many special things here. We have, the arts, we have food, we have outdoors, so many different things. But yeah, it's going to stop the people who are just in Ohio, sorry to pick on Ohio again, in Cleveland, who just want a job change, who just want to change.
Well, they're going to be priced out.
They're going to be priced out. They can't come here.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, the execs from DC and New York and out west who still want to get out of the city who can come here. That's not going to stop.
Yeah. I kind of see like us being kind of like a Seattle junior, where it's like what Boeing did to home prices in Seattle over a longer term, it, has made it an unaffordable place to live. And I wouldn't be surprised. And we've only had Boeing here for 10 years. I don't even know.
For sure.
I've lost track too. Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
But I mean, I think people undervalue the effect of a company like that and what it brings to an economy. And that's not the only one. I mean, we are getting big businesses coming every day, and it's obviously a remarkable place to live. And I think home values are just going to keep going up and up and up and up, and to a point where it's like not at Seattle's level, but where a lot of people can't afford to be here. I mean, rent is ridiculous.
It's insane. It's insane.
Too. It's not just
crazy.
home sales.
I went to a class for brokers at CTAR earlier this week, and they were talking about we're actually attracting a huge number of young professionals still, which is very surprising because of the cost of living. But they say they had a guy from the Chamber of Commerce there, and they're focusing on density because we can't do sprawl, and sprawl is inefficient for, police and fire people and utility companies and stuff. So they're trying to plan Charleston differently and I think accommodate it. But my experience has been, and I've talked to a bunch of my agents about this, I've had people that have been referred to me that I've worked with, and I've lost them to, places that I would not live. Okay. But it's all price. They came in, they had a $600,000 budget. They wanted to be in Mount Pleasant. They can't get what they want in Mount Pleasant for that price. And so they moved elsewhere. That has not been a problem for me in the last probably, 12 years. But that's happened a lot this year. And I think it was just like the COVID spike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
We also have to your point, we have a little bit of all this national news, right? We not to say we don't feel those things. We do feel those effects. When interest rates cross 7, we definitely feel it. But we're a little bit insulated still just because we are such a destination. We're not, we just went to a real estate conference in Fargo, North Dakota. Nicest people, but
not it.
My goodness.
Not a destination.
My goodness.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's depressing.
I'll only go to see them, right? There's no other reason to go there. But thankfully, we're a great city. We have a lot to talk about here. There's a lot of cool things going on. So we're a destination. We have a great second home market. We're a big draw from the Northeast, which has a lot of money. So, we'll have probably more than our fair share of cash buyers down here.
Yeah.
So we're a little bit insulated from those sorts of things. I don't think we feel the bumps as heavily as maybe some other markets do.
Yeah. Were y'all surprised at what the increase in interest rates did to our market? I was. I will say that I underestimated what an effect it would have on buyers here because we saw so much cash during COVID.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it happened quick, and
it
that's what they were trying to do, and it worked for sure. But again, there's always kind of that initial overreaction, I think, right? Where, everyone pumps the brakes and, let's see what happens, or they're waiting for the market to crash, or all this gloom and doom stuff.
They'll get tired of paying rent real soon.
Yeah,
Exactly. Those people that have been waiting for prices to come
exactly
down.
Right.
Yeah, well, what's the percentage rate on rent? Up. Percentage rate is 100%.
Oh, the interest rate. Yeah. Exactly.
Interest rate,
I saw a funny meme. One of our agents shared it in our group chat. It said, what was it? It was marry the house, date the rate.
Yes. Yes.
So I thought that
fall in
was
love
cute.
with the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Right,
can
you can
always
change and get rid of
refinance
rate.
later.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Well, ever since Stacy heard you say that you used to own a gym, she's been wanting to arm wrestle you. I just made that up, but I know I can read her mind sometimes.
She beat me. I can tell she beat me. She's fierce.
So we'll do that off camera. But is there anything
Absolutely.
else that you guys want to wrap up by saying, or and certainly plug your own podcast and whatever?
Thank you guys. Honestly, no, thank you guys for having us. You have an awesome setup here, and just checking out what y'all have done on your podcast has been really cool. You have some really cool guests on there. I have a few more that I need to watch actually, but no, we appreciate you guys. Ours is just again, cool people doing cool things. If they live here in Charleston and have something to say about Charleston, then we want to tell their story.
Yeah.
So
Do you have a favorite episode
that's a cool question.
or a favorite
We've had some
business?
cool,
Yeah.
We have had some cool
surprisingly
ones.
cool ones.
Well, you have cool people doing cool things,
That
so
one,
I'm
the
not surprised
dorsal
that
guy?
they're cool.
Yeah.
What is it?
What's that?
So this was one of our first episodes. This guy, his name's Chad Ross. He started a company called Dorsal Bracelets, and when we did the episode, he was like 23, maybe. He's a young guy already, and he'd had this successful company, this e-commerce company, and for every bracelet he sold, he removed a pound of trash from the ocean, right? Or joined with this effort that did that. And at the time of recording, I think he'd removed like 125,000 pounds of trash
Yeah.
or something
my
like that from the
gosh.
ocean.
Yeah.
That's
So cool. Just started right here. He's a local kid out of Mount Pleasant.
That's
So
awesome.
just
Started this
selling
company.
bracelets.
Just
Celebrate.
celebrate. He was
I
in our
love the
in our
logo.
shared workspace,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
down the hall. And we were like, "Hey, you want to do a podcast?" And he was, "Yeah, sure." We just kind of just dove in and did it with him, and just uncovered this cool
Super
business.
neat. Super
That's
neat.
Yeah.
awesome.
There's another gal, Amy Barch. We just interviewed her a couple weeks ago. She started a program called Turn 90, where she helps convicts, essentially, when they get out, kind of transition back into the workforce, which is very difficult to
Wow.
I thought we were going to talk about people who are turning 90 in age, and my soft spot is old people, and I
do.
was
Is that
getting
you?
ready to
Oh,
cry.
We got emotional.
But instead, we're talking about convicts taking a left turn, which you during their
My
life.
soft spot are convicts.
Yes.
Oh my god!
Very diverse group. Very diverse. Touch
Yes.
on a little everything.
Yeah, we're a little opposite.
Turn 90. Okay.
A 90-degree turn.
I was at
Anyway.
a showing yesterday, sorry, and my client was like telling me about how she was going to go visit her dad in this nursing home in Walterboro today. So she was like, I'm getting ready to do this tomorrow, whatever. And I am standing in the driveway just like snot and tears and I just can't, I don't know, old people, they just.
And the only reason she's not at the nursing home is because we had to interview you guys.
Oh really?
So,
You'd be
yeah.
still there.
True on your old people time.
She loves a nursing home
love
visit.
that.
So,
They have the best stories.
yeah.
They have the best
do.
perspective.
You can
My-
learn so much.
Listen, my favorite section of the newspaper is the obits because I love to read about a life well lived.
Anyway.
You know, I love it when they tell a life story. It's
And I
a
love the
beautiful
young
thing.
people because life hasn't shit on them yet. Anyway.
Love it. Love it.
That's why I gravitate.
All
towards it.
right.
Yeah.
Scott and Jeremy, thank you so much for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. And did we plug their Instagram
No.
yet? Plug your Instagram, your website, where
Your
people can
podcast,
find you.
yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, Lively Charleston Properties, Lively Charleston, and then Lively Charleston Podcast is on YouTube, iTunes, any place you can pretty much find a podcast, you can find us there. So
Awesome. Well, we feel so relieved that we have peers like you in the business doing great things and
Likewise.
training your team and taking the time to spend with them because it's a big deal what we do. So
Yeah.
thanks for making sure they understand the responsibility.
Well, thank you guys
Thanks
so much
for
for having us.
joining
yeah,
us.
thank you for having us.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. And check us out on @Between Two Brokers and @Smith Spencer Real Estate. Thanks.